Hello, it's Amanda Golightly from Align Natural Health. I think we're coming online here on all the platforms, doing things a little differently today. My schedule was a bit different, so doing a bit of an evening live for a change. And originally, I was going to be doing a live about heart health and things related to that. Uh, but this week, I've seemed to taken on some stress in my own life, and this congestion and all this is kind of the result of that. So I thought I'd get right into talking about stress today. And, um, well, who out there is not dealing with stress? Let's be honest. And so the story basically is that a couple days ago, I started getting this congestion happening. There was a bit of a sore throat for a couple days. And thankfully, I'm already on a program with supplements and working with a practitioner for that. And I was able to get some more testing done. Kate was able to, I asked her to test me to see what's going on, what's causing all this congestion. And the answer was virus and stress. So that just resulted in some changing of my supplements, upping my binders, and getting some drainage going. So, because my body, obviously, the stress is impacting my body and causing cortisol to go up and just causing some havoc with everything. So stress is a reality. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, but there's good and bad stress, and a lot of the times I think we do it to ourselves, right? We're overthinking things, and just the imagination is very powerful, and whatever we imagine also can feel like it's real at times. So, yep. So I'm on my program. I'm getting things handled, getting things cleared out. I wouldn't say the words that I'm actually sick, because obviously there's something in my body it's trying to get rid of. It's more of a detox issue, I would say. I know that's the kind of the go-to for people when they have this stuff going on, but it's just the reality is that there's toxins in this world, and apparently my body has a bit more than it can handle right now. So this is why I'm supporting it. And then again, working with my practitioner, and then I was able to ask Kate yesterday, "Can you test me? What the heck's going on here? I need some extra support." It's not realistic to expect to never have it, but we can help our bodies handle it, absolutely. And that's what I came to the conclusion of yesterday, that ask for help, ask for extra support. Holy tongue tied. Um, is That's the only way you can get through things sometimes. You just need to ask for help. And I know that's an area for me that I'm working on. And so that was something that I decided to actually action on yesterday and take care of there. So I do have some stats around stress. They're US stats here. 77% of people regularly suffer from physical symptoms caused by stress, hence maybe what I'm dealing with right now. 73 regularly suffer from psychological symptoms caused by stress, and 48% of people report sleepless nights from stress. So that could be from anything, relationship wise, business, career wise, whatever you're just kind of ruminating over and going over and over in your head and just can't come to a conclusion. And that's causing you to be awake for up, off and on, or maybe you just can't sleep at all. And there are three types of stress, and they are physical, chemical, and emotional. And physical can be sleeping on the couch, because in most cases, whose couch is that comfortable for sleeping in that regard? I can't, like, mine's pretty decent. It's pretty good, but at the end of the day, it's not really the best for support and everything and getting the most restful sleep. Car accidents and injuries, like if you play any sports or anything like that, or just sometimes random things just happen and you take a misstep, and that's when injuries can happen, and that's a stress on the body as well. And getting back to the couch, if maybe not necessarily on the couch, but if you're not sleeping, that is also a stress on the body. This is probably something that most may not even consider. Not enough food. If you're not getting enough food for your body and you're not fueling it enough, and maybe you're a really busy individual and just you're on the go all the time, this is an extra added layer of stress for your body. Um, Guilty. I've been guilty of the falling asleep on the couch. Yep, me too. I'm totally guilty of that. Repetitive movements. So if you're maybe texting a lot or you're doing something repetitively, if you're in the trades or a physical job like that, that can be stress on the body as well. I have CrossFitters in here, which is quite intense. I used to do that back in the day, and the workouts are can be quite the grind. So that's kind of what I have for physical aspect of it. Now, chemical. Pardon me. I'll do my best to get through this with the voice thing. Chemical. We have lots of things in our environment. It's in our water. It's in our air. It's in our cleaning products, hand sanitizers, foods. There's like artificial dyes and colors, sweeteners, pesticides, lawn pesticides, chemtrails in the air, and hair dye. These are just some things that we could be dealing with. Comment on Instagram. I heard mousing as a repetitive stress, which made me laugh. Mousing, is that regarding being on a computer with the mouse? Is that what that means? You have to clarify that for me. That's an interesting one. Emotional. And this kind of goes back to where I was talking about our imagination being very, very powerful. And essentially, we don't know the difference between imagine and real. So if you're imagining a situation that's actually being worse than what it actually is, this adds to your stress. So that could be at work, could be a family thing, could be a spouse, could be your kids, some sort of world event, because lots of world events seem to be going on the last few years. Financial is another big area for people. So there's lots of factors that could be impacting you in this way. Yes, on a computer. That's an interesting term. I've never heard of that before. I've definitely been mousing in previous career paths when I used to work on the computer a lot. So what does stress do to our bodies? Pardon me. It depletes our B vitamins and minerals, and that can lead to brain fog, difficulty thinking, fatigue, and exhaustion. It decreases our immune system. Hello, hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It decreases our immune system and stresses the adrenals. And when the adrenals are stressed, the adrenals want to lean on the thyroid. And when the thyroid's picking up the slack, it's going to lean on the heart. And it's just kind of a domino effect of how things are affected. So how does this affect us? The adrenals, when they're extra stressed, you might feel, or they're more taxed, say, you could feel dizzy when standing. Now, this was an interesting reframe that I heard last week. All the weeks kind of blend, and things just seem like they were further away than they were. When we were live doing Q&T training in person, which was amazing. Can't say enough good things about that training, and the being surrounded by like-minded people who are there to help people and just have that mission is just an amazing thing. So while I was at this training, the trainer, Dr. Lisa Palmer, who is amazing also, said a lot of people will say, I stood up too fast. And this leads to the dizzy when standing. But what is like standing up too fast? When do you stand up too fast? How is that actually a thing? And when she said that, I was like, oh, geez, that's an amazing perspective shift on that, because that does not make any sense at all. Getting up too fast, your body is just obviously dealing with something, and that is a symptom that something's going on with your body, and this is something we need to pay attention to. And with the adrenals having some extra stress on them, if you will, that can lead to low back pain. So if you've ever experienced back pain, and low back pain specifically, and maybe you go to the chiropractor and you get adjustments, and you've had maybe multiple adjustments and it's just not handling that, it could be something deeper. There could be a reason why it's just not taking. There's something else going on with the body, that it's just not allowing that adjustment to work as effectively as it could be. And it's very interesting that I've dealt with this, having that low back pain because of my adrenals, and man, is that painful and quite annoying actually. But that's something else I'm working on. We're getting support and working with a practitioner to support my adrenals and my thyroid is is very much helping that. And it's a work in progress. There's layers. I know Kate was talking about that yesterday on her live. We are very much an onion, and there's layers to the healing process, and that's physically, emotionally, spiritually as well. I would would add on there. So many women, especially, deal with the standing up fast and brush it off. The messages like the messages get louder the longer you ignore them. Absolutely, absolutely agree. The messages having to get louder as you, I guess, dismiss them or not ignore them. Maybe you don't really recognize that it is a message from your body saying, "Hey, I need support. Hey, I need help. Something needs to something needs to change here." Um, yeah, there's many people I've heard that having that same issue, and up until recently, this is something new that I've learned that it is an issue for multiple people, and there's something else going on with the body, right? Your adrenals, they need help. Blood pressure is another one that could come from your adrenals being overly stressed. You could be overtired, tired and wired. I know I've had that where you're on the couch and you're doing whatever it is you're doing and you're falling asleep, and then you're saying to yourself, now it's time to go to bed. It's time to actually sleep properly, because sleeping on the couch again is not the best place. And then you get yourself up to bed and you're trying to sleep and you're just laying there looking at the ceiling, and it's just, this is where the tired and wired thing comes over, and it's quite annoying actually. Yes, I had lower back pain that I got adjusted over and over for a few years, and didn't realize that adjustments don't hold when your adrenals are pooched. Nice word, nice choice of words, but effective. Yeah, it's such an interesting thing when you have a better awareness around what things mean in the body and what's going on in the body. Sadio, hey, how are you doing out there in Instagram land? Please, if you have any comments or anything, please throw those in the chat. So those are kind of the adrenal things that are going on. From there, we go to the thyroid. As I said, this is the next domino in the chain. And when the thyroid is overstressed or not working the way it needs to, or maybe it's in hyperdrive and overworking, there's some of the things that could happen to your body and be a symptom of that. And you could have weight gain or weight loss, hair loss. I know I've heard it from a lot of people. This is something they experience as well, like losing clumps of hair. And this can come from dealing with large amounts of stress. Puffy face, arms, legs, and hands. These are other areas. You may be dealing with PMS, hot flashes, low libido, and fertility problems. Now, PMS, premenstrual syndrome, this is not something that's normal. It's very, very common, but it's not normal. This is something else that we need to be aware of in our bodies, to know that these are things that women deal with quite often, and it's just another symptom telling you that something is out of balance in your body. Something is going on that needs to be answered. There's a call coming in. Your body's saying, "I need, pick up the phone, would you?" So this is something else to be aware of. Hair loss, especially in the shower. Yes, my goodness. I know that's probably one of the bigger places to know that. If notice that would be in the shower, or maybe you have a spouse who has lots of long hair and the hair is just all over the place, right? Um, so from there we go to the heart. So the issues with the heart, with being the third domino in this chain, you could have heart racing, palpitations, irregular rhythm, fatigue again, fainting. I know that's something I've dealt with in the past. And even this is extreme version. Death is one of the things that you could deal with. Probably less likely, depending on how much stress, but it's still a factor in this chain. Pardon me. Other stress-related symptoms that you could be experiencing: headaches, muscle tension. I know I'm experiencing that in my neck this week. I've really been aware of that. And this is something I like to throw out there right now. Quite often when I do the talk about stress is, where are your shoulders? Where are your shoulders? Are they sitting high up? Are you tensing? Because that's something I have to keep bringing myself back to as well, and just notice, okay, where are your shoulders? Just relax. Just let them drop. Take a minute to take a breath and just release that tension, because holy smokes, with that tension in your neck, that just kind of goes up the chain. It gives you the headache, and Sometimes your neck can be sore as well, right? So these are just things to start being aware of, be more aware of your body, just kind of build up that connection with yourself. Because I think I read somewhere, I can't remember where I read this, but we are technically more connected than ever right now with all this technology, yet also more disconnected than ever. We're not as connected to ourselves, the energies around us, and what's going on in our body, and being really in tune with that. So that's something I'm still working on myself. And this is something you can be more aware of as you're building up, and even just listening to myself or other practitioners out there. And it may not be me who gets the message across, because it's all about the messenger sometimes rather than the message itself. So just kind of be open to that. And whenever the message is coming across that's meant for you, you'll definitely pick up on it. So again, muscle tension. You could also have this irritable and anger. If you've got more stress going on, you may likely to have less patience around those times. Changes in appetite. So you may find maybe you're an emotional eater. You should actually check out our podcast coming up, Limitless Health. We have Polly Yoles is on our podcast on Monday. I believe it's Monday coming up. And she speaks to emotional eating. So this is a great podcast, great interview. Please go check that out. It is on Facebook in my About section, and also on Instagram. Hit the link in my bio to check that out if you're interested. And also upset stomach. I know that's something maybe not more so right now, but in recent and past days, having an upset stomach if you're just overstressed and trying to deal with a lot of things. So something else to be aware of. My goodness. I will get through this, I promise. Yes, May 1st. Such a great episode. So that's the date. May 1st, Monday. Check out the podcast episode. Polly Yoles, Emotional Eating. Very wonderful interview. It was great. Pleasure to speak with her. So ways to reduce stress. What are the ways that you like to reduce stress? Do you have something you enjoy doing? Sort of hobby, a sport? Maybe it's just going for a walk and connecting with nature. I've been kind of drawn to this electroculture thing recently. I don't know if anyone out there is noticing some of my stories where I've got the pots of plants out, and there's a piece of wood wrapped with some copper, and that's essentially harnessing the energies, the available energies that are all around us, and to help grow that plant even better. It's supposed to, I believe, retain moisture in the soil and other things like that. I probably won't explain it nearly as well as other people who that's kind of their field, but it's definitely something interesting to check out. So with that, you could even just, I know that it sounds really corny, but people would say hug a tree, but the tree's roots are like deeply, deeply in the soil. And what another way to kind of ground yourself and connect with the earth and the energies, and just that more relaxing energy, if you will. I can't come up with anything else at the moment, but that's just something else to think of. Just even just placing your hand on the tree and just kind of connecting and feeling that energy. Just, I don't know, just even just thinking about it, imagining it, because imagination is so powerful. Just imagining that process for me just causes me to relax even more, which is amazing. So going for a walk, being out in nature, that is one wonderful way to do that. And as I already talked about, gardening, getting your hands in the soil and just connecting that way too. I never used to be one that was really into plants or thought that I could have the green thumb, but not doing too bad. I'm able to actually test my plants and see what they need as well, which is fun. Hey, Robin, how are you? Thanks for joining. So yeah, I've been testing my plants. I've got my succulents from last Easter that have been around. They had their year anniversary, and I've been testing to see what water they need, if they like the position on the windowsill, stuff like that, and actually talking to them. Just kind of talking to the plants and getting that energy from them is just actually, I quite enjoy that. So if that's something that's up your alley, give that a shot. Me, ne- Me neither. Oh my gosh, test the plants. Yeah, totally do that. You could test anything. I was testing which way to come home just an hour ago. So there's so many avenues to go down with that. It's really, really cool. If you're stressed, digestion is not a priority. Ever had a nervous poop? Didn't see that line coming, but yeah, we've talked about that too. If if you're in fight or flight, digestion's not a priority. Fertility is definitely not a priority. So if you are stressed all the time, that is not the time to be considering having a child, just to throw that out there. And yeah, digestion can get all wonky and if you're dealing with too much stress. So that's something else to notice if you are having any of the three factors of stress going on, physical, emotional, or chemical. Just be aware that maybe those are impacting your fertility or your digestion or a lot of other things in your body. What else can we do? I've kind of talked about myself playing sports. I play soccer. I love to get out there and do that. Talk with the team, have that camaraderie, and just for me, like some people like running, just running somewhere in maybe a line or a circle. I don't mind doing that, but I need a goal, right? An actual goal doesn't hurt too, but someone to chase after with a ball is kind of up my alley. Taking time for self is quite important. Filling up your own cup, um, and you can do that with any of these things. You can take the dog out for a walk. You can go to your favorite place, your beach, the trail, whatever. Meditation, even hypnosis. These are great ways to kind of make use of your visualization and your imagination and put it to work. And even if you don't have a favorite place nearby that you can get to, you can imagine that favorite place. Uh, Cooking a healthy meal. This is a great one. Reading something positive and inspiring. This is the key part there. Something that's positive and inspiring. There's so much out there right now that is negative news, and that's another thing I don't watch. I don't watch the news anymore, so that's another good tip. Stop watching the news if you're stressed. I miss running. I haven't been able to for 6 months because my adrenals needed a rest. Yeah, it's a hard reality sometimes when your body's just telling you you need to stop. And this is what was being alluded to with the other comment out there that the what the heck was it? My goodness, the signals basically get louder uh, as you ignore them. They get louder and louder, and that's because your body is just trying to get through to you. So if you're not responding to the little things or not noticing the little things, those symptoms have to get louder and louder and louder until you can't ignore it anymore. So this is something else to keep in mind. Uh, you're commenting about our plants. Those plants were near death and now they're thriving. Absolutely right. We had nothing to lose. Tested to see if they wanted to be planted outside. They did, and they were planted outside. They grew again. These are the Easter plants that I was talking about before, and they thrived. And when winter was coming about, because up here in Canada, there's that white stuff that we don't want to talk about too much. Um, Tested to see, do you guys want to come inside? Do you want to avoid this winter? And so we brought them in and they've been thriving ever since. I'm torn to put them outside because I just feel like they're doing so well. But I guess I could ask them. So we'll see where that goes. Um, Being creative. How do you like to be creative? Anyone out there paint or play music, write, even journaling? That could be another way to be creative and getting at your thoughts. Maybe on the journaling front, if you have stuff you're dealing with that maybe you can't talk to someone else about, even just write it in your journal. You could, I mean, you don't have to. You could write a letter too for that particular person if you wanted to. You don't have to give it to them. You can just get those thoughts out, get it out of your head, so you can kind of move on. I mean, you could tear it up. You could light it on fire and burn it, whatever, safely, mind you, if you wanted to. These are all just other ways you could get these things out of your head. So like stress is one of the six main things that we deal with when we're using quantum nutrition testing. Don't guess. I know. I know I've thrown that at you, Kate, many times as far as that goes. Yep. Always test. We don't guess. We have the amazing technology of quantum nutrition testing in order to get the answers of what's going on. So test, don't guess. Yeah, so stress is one of the biggest things that we deal with. And there was a quote that my dad threw out at Easter not long ago, and I just thought it was so brilliant how he said that and just threw it out there. And I had to include it today. If you worry, you grow old, gray, and die. If you don't worry, you grow old, gray, and die. So why worry? And he couldn't have said it any better than that. It was like a wonderful little quote that he threw out there, and it's just like, huh, no kidding. That's the simplest thing. You can do all the same things, and the result's the same. But if like, why worry? You're just adding on to that, and again, the imagination is sometimes one of our worst enemies. But we can turn that around and actually make it a positive thing, right? So it's something to work on. I'm working on these things myself. It's always a process to in the health journey and in the mindset aspect of it as well. And yeah, it's a process, and that in itself I think is kind of layers as well. Yes, so perfect, Mr. Golightly. Yes, absolutely. He was very well spoken in that moment, and the point was hitting the nail right on the head. So if you're dealing with stress and you're able to get some of these tips out there and make use of them to just help yourself reduce these things. But if you're finding that you're just dealing with symptoms like maybe what I've got going on right now, or other things going on in your body, right? You've got those headaches that I've mentioned, or maybe there's migraines. Migraines are terrible to have. They really uh, impact if you can go to work, if you can hang out with your kids, if you can take them to where they need to go. These are so many things that can impact your day and stop you from taking part in your day. Uh, if you've got if you're irritable and you've got this anger, like that's a lasting thing, especially if you have kids. That's going to impact them very greatly. So if there's more going on with yourself and maybe your body just needs some support, so you don't need to do that. Maybe there's something going on with your brain and it needs support as well. Sometimes we're just lacking nutrients, or um, some supplementation could be very lacking my words here. Maybe some supplementation is all you need in order to get your body back into balance, and that's something that we can help you with. And um, quantum nutrition testing is an amazing thing. As I said, I can't speak highly enough about that. It's a wonderful tool, and um, if you have any questions about it, please reach out to us. Kate and myself, we're always available for questions. And if you want to work with us, that's always an option as well. And I'm not sure about that question, that comment that just came in there from Kate. You'll have to explain that one, please. Yeah, if you want to work with us, we're available to help you figure out what's going on with your body, like what's going on, why are you not balanced in some way. We can test you from head to toe and see what's working, what's not, and what the cause is, because that was the big thing for me, right? Like why am I experiencing this congestion? This voice sounds really awesome right now. And stress and virus. These are the causes, and I found out what the solutions were to help continue supporting myself into some additions into my program. So, and these are things that we can help you with as well. Uh, pardon me. So, we have an initial consult bundle that we do. It's an initial assessment, so we can actually talk to you. And sometimes this is where people say that this is the first time that someone's actually listened to what's going on with them. And I know it can be the thing with your doctor when you go there, they only have time for one issue or whatever you're bringing to them, only one thing. And it's not their fault. That's just kind of the way the system is, right? But we're here to take you as the whole puzzle. You're not just one puzzle piece, because the whole, knowing as much as we can about you is the best way we can help you. So if that's something you're interested in, please check out the About section on Facebook, and we've got the website there, alignnaturalhealth.com, and it is in my bio on Instagram. And I will drop the Limitless Health podcast again. Polly Yoles will be on Monday. We've got the interview with her again, emotional eating. It was a wonderful interview again. I can't say that enough. So check that out as well. I know I'm throwing a lot out at you right now, but one last comment here and then we'll shut her down. The solution is not medication. That doesn't help figure out why you're dealing with symptoms. Exactly right. If you're on any sort of medication and you're finding that your symptoms are no longer there, but you're still on the medication, are they really not there? Because you're addressing the symptoms. You're not addressing the cause. That's something really to think about. If you're not addressing the cause, then things are not going to get better. Like, I'm going to be taking my car in shortly to get the brakes done. Now, if I were not addressing the cause of the brakes being an issue, am I going to be able to stop at that stoplight in a couple weeks from now? Am I just going to, you know, ignore the sounds that it's making or whatever the case is? Essentially, just covering that up and not dealing with it. So, um, yeah, keep that in mind. Symptoms are a sign that something's not working in your body, and your body's trying to communicate with you what's going on. So keep that in mind. Expand your awareness with your body, and just get more in touch. And yeah, just build that awareness. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you, especially because of my voice and everything sounding a little off today. So I appreciate you all tuning in. There had a few more people on today, so that's awesome. If you found this valuable, please share it with someone or tag them in the post. That'd be great too. So it's the weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. I know we're expecting rain up here, but hopefully you'll find something fun to do and something that can help de-stress you if you're dealing with any of that. So thank you again for listening. I'm Amanda Golightly with Align Natural Health. Have a great day and live well naturally.